So welcome to the On the Scene and Why. Please let the people know who you are.
I'm Sammy Soul, and this is
What's
up, guys?
Now my first question is: are you guys like a duo? Are you guys solo artists? What's the situation?
Well, you're looking at one person. This is one person here. So yeah, it's not. You can't call it a duo. It's just one person with two different voices.
What's the name? Do you guys call yourself something collectively or?
No, it's just Sammy Soul and Baby Soul.
All right, cool. So my first question is, what kind of music do you feel like you bring to the table?
The good shit, like
Authentic shit.
the authentic shit. I think we pride ourselves on being very original. Nowadays you get the same thing every day. And I think it's very important that you keep your music innovative, clean, fresh, raw,
Right.
and we feed off of each other's energy. And yeah, the good shit.
And you guys, from what I know, you guys are in a relationship, correct?
Yes.
Very in love.
Very.
Oh,
Yeah.
don't do that, man. That was so cute. So, being that you guys are in love with each other, you guys are in a relationship, how you guys channel that part to your music?
Okay.
Well, let's just correct that. I'm Sammy. But I mean, whatever we go through, I guess good or bad, it just happens to jump into the music somehow. Like, we like talking about real life issues, singing about real life issues in our music, reaching out to whoever may be going through.
Right.
So you guys make music for people.
Right. I think that's very impactful. I like when you keep it really personal. Everybody who's listening to it, like some of my favorite artists, I can relate to them. So what we go through, it's real stuff. And then I think if you have that connection with your music, it becomes more honest, and people can actually hear honesty in your music. So I think that's what really makes our music, our relationship, very vital to our music.
How long have you guys been together or known each other?
We've known each other for 2 years.
Oh yeah, over 2 years. Over 2 years.
We've been on for 6 months now.
Yeah.
So what made it that you guys decided to kind of go full force with the music thing together?
I'll answer it. Okay, so pretty much when we met, she didn't give me any play. No. At first it was kind of like it just, it was a proposition by me for us to work together, because I saw that she was making music, or she was a singer, and I was like, hey, you should take it seriously. And it was a lot of delaying of the process. And
Okay, let me tell you why I was delaying. I never heard Kavon's music when we first
who's Kavon?
I meant, oh shit.
Yeah.
Well, I never heard K Cassell's music. When we first started talking or whatever. But the first time I heard it, it was last year, like the beginning of last year, or 2013, towards the end, 2013 going into 2014.
Right.
And I really just fell in love with his music because it was just so different and just so amazing. And he's my favorite rapper. I was like, nah, I gotta get on with this. Because if he jump on, I want to jump on too.
But to go back to your question, the root of your question, I was in a relationship with someone, and
So was I.
and so was she. So that kind of held a little barrier. It's not really an excuse, but circumstances are real, and that kind of set kind of a barricade for us musically. But we forced through that. This is our career. You know what I mean? And things worked out for the best for both of us, and hopefully for everybody involved. And we're just doing what we love.
I just want to put this out there. Our relationship isn't. It's not solely based on music.
At all.
It's not.
Again, we go through real shit. That you can hear that through the music.
But the real shit that you guys go through, you just channel it. So, as a couple, do you guys feel like, okay, let me ask you this way, right? So, let's say for example, something happens and you guys, it comes out down to a situation where, you know, one person has to go further than the next, so to speak. Like, you know, somebody has to take a step further.
Right.
How would you deal with it? Well, how would you deal with it if Kayvon had to take a, like, they would say, like, okay, you know what? I just want to work with Kayvon for right now, put you on the back burner, and vice versa.
Like he said, we're a collective, but at the end of the day, we're individual artists. So I would always support him and support what, you know, he wants to do, and if he has to take that step further, you know, I'll always be by his side.
Right. For me, it's the same exact thing. You know, when I first heard Sammy's voice, I was like, wow, she can be really huge. And you know, we followed each other on Instagram. And I was just like, her aura, like you can feel it through. I'm like holding my phone. I'm like, look at this superstar in the making. You know what I mean? And you know, I always imagined it like her being really huge. You know, so even if it was like we weren't working together, even if it was like a kind of back and forth kind of thing as far as success, I'm all for it. Like I'm gonna go hard myself, and I wish nothing but the best for Sammy. You know, so yeah.
I always said this, like, if I'm not, you know, as big or whatever as he is, like, I want him to shine more than me sometimes, you know, because he deserves it. So, yeah.
Now, how do you guys deal with being a couple, right? It's gonna get a little more personal. So, being a couple, how do you guys deal with, you know, the outsiders? You know, what if you guys got together, you know, with the situation that you both had prior? You know, so I'm sure you was down to sharing, you know, they probably were cheating and doing this and blah blah blah. Now, how did you guys channel through that to kind of just like, well, fuck all that?
Well, to be honest, we faced a lot of criticism at the beginning.
From close friends.
We faced a lot of criticism. We faced a lot of criticism. You don't want to put that in there. Come on.
Okay, my bad. I'm keeping it real.
Yeah, it's fine, but
I mean, it happens.
Yeah, it's
close friends.
Yeah,
She's not saying. She's not
I
saying
ain't
no
throwing
names.
shade.
Yeah, she's not saying no names.
Nah, of course, but they know exactly who they are.
I mean,
I really just don't want.
Reality is reality.
I
What they
don't want
gonna
that.
do?
Yeah, but I don't want that energy from me. I really don't want that.
All right, so
I don't want to deal with it.
we'll cut that part out there.
Yeah.
So we can start the answer over.
Okay, so at the genesis of our relationship, we faced so much criticism, a lot.
unnecessary criticism.
Yeah, like out of your place.
Unwanted, like.
Yes.
She was pretty upset.
Yeah.
She was pretty
It was
upset.
pretty intense, like certain people that you didn't even expect to even, you know, have an opinion about us. You know, it was just kind of like I don't know, it was a lot of whiplash for, you know, for what happened with us. Because, you know, I understand it and I get it sometimes, depending on like the source of the energy.
Yeah.
But, you know, the way we reacted to that, we kind of like just put that into the music. We have a song, actually called Crash. That's kind of like, yeah, that's like the first song that we really put together and put out, you know, look for that. Okay.
And if you listen to the lyrics, you
And
can
yeah,
actually.
you can feel that energy. You can, yeah, definitely. You know, you can feel that energy in the song, and it's kind of like a response, like, okay, guys, you know, you make your decisions in life, you learn from it, and you move forward.
So when you guys were working on that song, well, when you guys actually released the song, because you already know what was the reason for working on it, but when you released the song, did you get any criticism? Did people feel away? Was it like, you know?
Well, actually, we got a lot of feedback, more feedback than we expected, and honestly, I don't even think that people listened to where it was coming from. I think what they listened to was the song itself. You know, and I felt like if anybody felt guilty for listening to it, they felt so ashamed that they didn't want to acknowledge that part of it. You know what I mean? It's a great song. You know, it's undeniable. You know, so as far as I'm concerned, nobody was ballsy enough to say anything about it. So in that type of sense, so fuck it, it's a great song.
So, my question's for you. Do you have any solo singles or solo songs that you are working on or that you're?
Working on, yeah, I have some solo songs in the bank.
Oh man. Yeah, y'all know.
Y'all know.
Y'all know. This
We
one?
have some hit shit.
Nah,
like,
for real, man.
Yeah.
So do you plan on releasing that anytime soon, or you just want to have it?
I want to record and, just like,
Like put it, like kind of like develop it and like mold it into like, because what we like to do, like just because we go to the studio one time, it's like, are we really about to put this out? Or like, let's listen to it like a good 10 times or 100 times, and see what can go where, even if it's a small ad lib. So I think what we spoke about recently was kind of just having the songs in the bank and then like kind of like when we really 100% like, set on it. All of the songs that we do now are geared towards our joined mixtape that we're gonna do.
And the mixtape Journey to You.
Journey to You, that's what they call it, Journey to You.
Journey to EU.
Yeah.
EU.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it's tricky. The EU, you can pronounce it U, but you can add on the euphoria, it's kind of like an abbreviation.
So yeah, as a couple, how do you guys come up with the creative process to, think about intricate details in terms of like the title and even with the writing of the music and knowing what goes where and how helpful it should sound on the song or, stuff like that. How you guys come up with that?
Well, honestly, I'm the crazy one creatively. She's the crazy one in a different sense. Like, crazy. Yeah, why don't you kind of take that one? We're telling them about the story with Crash.
Well, Crash came from this producer that Cavon found on SoundCloud.
Madlibs.
Named Madlibs, that's all. And
We still want to work with you,
Yeah.
fucko.
Yeah.
But yeah.
but you're still an asshole.
Yeah.
It came from, I don't know, because you're the one that found.
Right, the original, it was actually a sample, Crash. The beat, it was sampled from a song called Crash, and they spelled it with a Z. And I
It's
thought
from
that
a
was
movie,
cute.
right?
I have no idea.
That's
It was from a movie.
Did you say it was from like Wedding Crashers or something?
No, the song was like, I don't know, it had something to do with wedding crashing, but it wasn't from a movie. It was in a video, no.
Okay.
But yeah, like I just had a Z in it, and I thought it was cool,
Yeah, it was different.
That was
We
it.
like different shit,
Yeah.
So what about Journey to You
Journey to You.
or EU? I don't know.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Pronounce
you.
it.
Florida, like.
Well, see, the thing is, me and her, like, we've known each other for 2 years before we got together. And I feel like, again, with the barricade and, like, the circumstances leading into our relationship, I would describe it as a journey. And then at the end of that journey was euphoria. Like, this relationship that we have is just, like, very passionate and real. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not just for the cameras. Like, I don't mean to sound negative or anything like that, but if this music should stop today, like, this is my life away, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, seriously though, like, this is a real thing. So, Journey to You, Journey to You, it's self-explanatory, but I like dual meanings, I like double entendres.
Yeah.
Shouts to Kendrick Lamar and, the greats who've been able to, Jay-Z, double, triple entendres, being able to, like, kind of make that seem so effortless, I think that's, like, the most amazing to me as far as lyricism, so, yeah. I kind of want to extend that beyond the music itself into, the little things like, a mixtape title,
Yeah.
So, as far as writing, I took a heavy load of it in the beginning because Sammy, she just never used to write. And then one day she wrote a song, you guys are gonna hear it. It was fucking amazing. And I'm like, you're gonna have to do much more writing as an artist. Like, this shit is amazing, you know what I mean? And
Yeah, which song was it?
I'm not gonna say it on camera. I want them to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that one.
You blushing too.
Yeah, she likes that one a lot. But the writing process is amazing for us, like, because it comes from a real place. It comes from a raw place. And we kind of like share ideas, and then we kind of like just find a beat or, tap into something. We sit down and listen to an instrumental for an hour or so, and then start jotting shit down, And that's kind of how generally the writing goes.
And not every song is gonna be about love. And stuff
Yeah,
like
not
that.
every song, but obviously. Yeah.
how did you guys know that you? A better way to phrase this. How did you guys know you guys were in love with each other, or you were in love with him, or you were in love with her? How did it hit you?
So I fell in love with him first, and he was playing.
Oh boy.
Yes,
I was
he
the one who tried to talk to you. And he was
I
like,
think you were trying to talk to us, and then you fell in love with her.
I ain't fall in love with her, man. I mean, maybe I did, I just didn't know it. But you know,
That's
everything
like
happens for a
just
reason.
I think I guess
we
whatever
met
excuse.
while we were in a relationship. And you know, I was a faithful dude and everything, you know. I don't want to get too,
We know.
yeah. you know? And, you know, I didn't want to, like, betray anybody, but I knew that, you know, everything happens for a reason, you know what I'm saying? And I think that everything played out the way it did, you know, to work out in our favor. You know what I'm saying? It was aligned in the stars, I'm convinced, you know? So, when did we find out we were, you know, in love? I don't know.
I can't pinpoint a
You're
date.
about to talk on a date.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
let me
yeah.
rephrase the question. How did it feel to know that you guys, you know, this was...
I felt really great.
I mean, to this day, it's just like sometimes I just like stare at her and I'm like, you're so ugly. no, but seriously, it's just like, how did this happen? Like sometimes I anticipate waking up. Sometimes that's how crazy it is. I know it's corny and like, you know.
Yeah, a lot of the shit that I'm gonna say right now is like really corny with it.
It's fine.
She's raw, but she's like such a like.
A sweet
I'm
one.
shy at the same time.
Yeah, she's pretty
Really? There's nobody in the room. It's just a camera.
Anyway, what was I gonna say? Kamon is a really, cake and sales. Kamon is a really adventurous person.
yeah.
And I appreciate him a lot, because he taught me a lot of things that, you know, nobody else could teach me. Like, I look back on my relationships and I'm just like so ashamed of them. And I shouldn't be, but it's naturally like that because I've never, you know, like, oh my God. But I've never, this is my best friend, my soulmate, so.
Yeah,
You guys give me real shit like this.
yeah, I'm sorry.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. The chemistry is there.
And to piggyback on one of the things she said, you know, like, we go through shit to deal with something later on in life. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the relationships that she had was, you know, helped her, you know, to be more, what's the word I'm looking for? Like more patient or like, you know, just confident. Like, you know what I'm saying? You deal with certain things and, you know, it makes you feel, what the fuck is the point of this? And then later on, you go through something and you're like, okay, now I see what that was about. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, a lot of this stuff builds us up for each other. You know.
Mhm.
So, do you guys see, since you guys know each other for 2 years,
Right.
do you guys see a change in each other from the 2 years to now that you guys are together?
Oh boy, did we? Did we? When I first met Sammy, I was like, this girl is like fierce. Like she's like a fucking lioness, like a beast. And she's just like this little cub, this little baby cub. Behind closed doors. And nobody would ever see that, only me.
Only him.
And I'm honored to be, I mean, because this girl, I mean, you meet her and you're just like scared to approach her. And shit like that. I ain't scared of nobody, so I was just like, yo, what's up? She know, that's not how it was. Yeah, no, Kimberly, yeah, because you dropped my name millions of times. But yeah, Kimberly, I mean, like the transformation, not even on the artist side, I'm talking about like on a personal, like, you know, internal level. You know what I'm saying? I've always known that she had a really big heart. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like she just had like this big wall. You know, and I pride myself on being able to like help her open up to the world. You know, and just like being able to connect with people. Because she has this light, in my opinion, she has this light inside of her that she can share with the world and like really make a big change. And I think one of the greatest outlets for that is through music. You know what I'm saying? Because she's talented. You know what I'm saying? And like one thing that really makes a great pair with talent is a big heart. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's exactly what really ties me so close to Sam. You know, Kimberly.
What about you? When have you seen his growth in the past 2 years?
I wasn't really on him like that, but I'm joking.
Yeah, that's a big joke.
No, let me be really honest. Like for the past 2 years, I was just like on a totally different planet from Kawan. Like Kawan was on this planet and I was on this planet. Even though we had that type of
Long
connection,
distance connection, right?
like I was just elsewhere with everything. So I wasn't really paying attention to anything that was going on in his life. But you know, something just like he said, things happen for a reason, and
It just connected us.
we just
right?
connect. Like it was out of the nowhere.
Right.
Like it just happened, and it
I think the universe is like, okay, you guys are ready. Let's put these bitches together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The two planets together and kind of just like, you know, unite us. And then like, you know, when I reflect on some of the shit that I've been through, you know, between us being like so distant, I mean, we probably wouldn't have been where we are now without that.
I mean,
You know?
it makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
So as artists, who do you guys compare yourselves to? Who do you see yourselves at?
Fuck them, nobody.
Nobody will.
People say I sound like, bleep this out. People say I sound like Kendrick and sometimes
You
Drake.
have your own.
And it's just like, you know, I'll reflect on the song that they heard, and I'll be like, you know, okay, maybe I did sound like him a little bit right there. Because, you know, it's natural to get influenced, but I make a conscious effort to not sound like that person and like try to either change it or make it sound better than the person that I'm compared to, you know what I mean? And I listen to a lot of different music. Like if you ask me some hip hop questions, I won't fucking be able to answer it, and I ain't even ashamed. You know what I'm saying? Like, ask me about some artists in the early 2000s, 90s, I won't know a thing. You know, I listen to like a whole bunch of different genres. You know what I mean? And you know, I listen to like Phoenix and Jason Mraz and like, you know, Janelle Monáe. That's not like really hip hop based. So I'm influenced by a lot. So, you know, if you throw all of that in one pot, it just sounds like a weirdo.
And that's why I think that we're so amazing, because you know it's just so easy to be influenced these days, because TV is just right there everywhere you go. It's just some shit.
And the
you
radio
know?
plays the same shit
Over and over again.
Over
So
and
it's
over.
natural for people to imitate each other than back in the day. You know. So.
I'm Kay Casellas.
And I'm Sammy So. And
You're plugged in with
with
On the Scene New York.